What's going on, guys? We're back with our next video in the intermediate guide. Today we'll be talking about head and shoulders. It's a reversal formation technique. Let's jump right in. Basically, with head and shoulders, you're gonna see a uptrend going on, starting from right about somewhere around here. You're gonna see an uptrend. It's gonna come and it's gonna meet a resistance, and it's gonna bounce off of this resistance and come and meet another support. And then once it bounces off the support, it's gonna head back in the other direction. Now this right here will be counted as the left shoulder, right? So it's head and shoulders, this would be the left shoulder. I'm sure you can already see where we're going. Now that would be the left shoulder. This right here, we call it the neckline, because if you look at this as a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, this would be the neckline. So once it bounces off the support, it'll come and it'll meet another resistance and bounce off of that. That resistance should be higher than the shoulder line. So once it goes and meets that resistance and it comes back down to the support, it'll bounce off and make another shoulder, and that'll be the right shoulder. So we got the left shoulder, the right shoulder, and the head. And once it comes there and it bounces off that support and makes the formation for the right shoulder, it should come down and break through the support and give a reversal formation. In many scenarios, the price after the reversal will come down and continue on this downtrend, or come down, bounce back up and meet this new resistance. It went from a support to resistance once the price breaks through. And then from there, it'll continue to go on. And that just lets you know that this is a strong resistance later on in the chart. But that's the formation. It shows a shoulder by meeting a resistance and a support. Then it shows a head by meeting another resistance and a support. And then it shows the right shoulder by meeting the same resistance as before and breaking through the support. Now, one thing to remember is the shoulder line and the neckline, this resistance and the support, they don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to come and meet it as it's drawn here. The left shoulder could be a little higher than the right, or vice versa, or this neckline could be a little lower than on this side of the shoulder, or vice versa. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So let's jump in and show some examples. So here I'm looking at a day chart of the Binance buck, or the Binance coin. So you see it's an uptrend, and it comes and meets a resistance, or a resistance area. I'll put that there. And then it comes down and it bounces off of another support, right? It's not perfect because you see it does a little double bounce here, but this area is a support. So we can draw another support line just in that general area. And then it'll go up, break this resistance. Let me delete this. It'll break this resistance and make another resistance, just somewhere in this general area, right? And then it'll come down and meet another support area. This is just somewhere in the general vicinity. And then it'll come back and meet somewhere in the general vicinity of the old resistance, and then come down and break that support, right? And like I said, normally the support acts as a resistance later on once it's broken through, so it'll break through and come back, and then you see it met it again and went on. That just lets you know that it's a strong resistance. And you see it did it again here. We can change it green so that the terminology doesn't confuse you. So once it breaks through, now it's a resistance, comes and meets it a couple times, and so forth. Let's look at another one. So here we're looking at Monero. As you can see, it was a smaller uptrend, but nonetheless it was an uptrend. It came and met a support, a resistance, right? And then it came down, bounced at a support. Let's make that red. Then it broke through that old resistance, made a new resistance, came down, bounced off the support again, and bounced off another resistance. And like I told you earlier, the resistances don't have to meet up perfectly. Like, that's not gonna determine whether it's a head and shoulders, if it touches the same spot or not. It just needs to have that formation. So we have a left shoulder, we have a head, and as you can see, we have a right shoulder. And then it breaks through and it goes downward. And it comes and it wants to test the resistance. You can see the wick coming up and meeting that, but it getting rejected. But that's another example of a head and shoulders right there. And as you can see, it was a reversal, came back down, reversed. Let's look at the next one. Same thing here. So we got an uptrend, it comes and meets a resistance, comes down, bounces off a support, meets another resistance, bounces off a support, meets the resistance, and goes in this downtrend. This was a little bit more sloppy than the other ones that I showed you. as you can see, the head and shoulders is kind of on a plane. I'd say if you were to draw the shoulder line, it would be like this. The neckline would be like this. So it's kind of off, but nonetheless, we have a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, right? So it's never going to be perfect, or very rarely will it be perfect. But it's important to recognize what makes it a head and shoulder technique: that left shoulder, that head, and that right shoulder, and the head always being higher than the shoulders, and the neckline being in either on a slope or around the same vicinity of support, and the shoulder line being on a slope or on the same vicinity of a resistance. And that's the head and shoulders for you. Let's go back and recap the main points. So like I said here, you're gonna have an uptrend that comes and meets a resistance, it bounces and it meets a support, makes that left shoulder. Then you're gonna have another uptrend off that support that meets a resistance and comes back to that support, that's gonna make that head. And then you're gonna have another uptrend that comes and meets that resistance and bounces off and breaks through the support, creating that right shoulder, and it's going to give you that reversal formation. Incoming price of an uptrend leading to a downtrend, the reversal of a trend. And anything can happen afterwards. It'll probably continue to go downwards or come up and meet the support. But like I said, it being a reversal, it's going to want to go on this downtrend for a little bit, and then you're going to wait, to look for the next bounce. Or depending on if you're doing foreign exchange, you're going to look for to short at certain points or whatever the case is. But it just gives you better insight on what to do next. But that's head and shoulders for you. Y'all stay tuned for the next few videos. We're going to be starting the advanced guide very soon. So y'all like, subscribe, comment, ask questions. And I appreciate you for watching. Y'all stay tuned.